San Diego Fleet are set to start their inaugural training camp on Monday, but it won't be in the shadows of the Cred. In fact, load up the buses, everybody, for the newest football team in league. They're all headed to San Antonio, along with the other 7 AAF teams, to learn the newest rules of the game and what is a combine training camp. It's all in preparation of the season that will start in February, including the Fleet's home opener against Atlanta on the 17th. Go to their website for all your ticket information. Before that journey, one Titan stopping by KUSI to talk all about it. He's a former Poway Titan. He is a former USD Torero, and now he's a lineman for the Fleet, a defensive lineman. Mr. John Peterson. John, welcome back to the KUSI airwaves.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Happy to
Are
be
you
here.
excited? You can say to your kids and to any other kids that will listen, I'm going to be a professional football player.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that obviously I've been working for my whole life, and honestly, it's a dream come true. And I'm, looking forward to putting this last 12 months of, pretty rigorous working out to use.
This league is going to be different in a lot of ways. We'll talk about the rule changes, but just this training camp is going to be different in that all the teams are going to be in one locale. The purpose of that is?
Well, I think with any new league, especially with all 8 teams being owned by the league itself, I think that they're trying to basically work with the administration on how best to do any of this stuff. And so as this being a startup, they are obviously going to be tweaking things, and I think it's easiest if everybody's kind of in and around together. It's not going to be one massive camp with 8 teams worth of guys, but I definitely think that there are going to be advantages to having everybody in one central location.
Can you imagine your days back in Poway practicing with RB and all the other Pioneer League teams?
No, I think it would lead to a lot of fights.
Yes, but there are some new rules. So just as a defensive lineman, the rule that's going to most affect, the newest rule that's going to affect you is?
You can only bring 5 guys on a blitz, and they have to be on the line of scrimmage to be able to blitz. And so it's only on passing situations. On running stuff, obviously, they're not going to penalize guys for being too quick to reach the line of scrimmage. But with passing, I think with kind of the limited time they have to work with the offensive line, it's best interest of the league to kind of simplify it to a degree and make it easier for everybody.
I think of this multi-team thing as like Padres spring training, where there's a team on every field and there's 18 fields everywhere. That's not... Are you all going to be within eyeshot of one another? Will there be inter scrimmages with one another? A lot of contact with one another?
I don't know exactly how much contact. I'm pretty sure what they told us is we'll all be in different hotels during the duration of camp. But I do think that it lends way to the opportunity for scrimmaging because we don't have a preseason the way the NFL does. And so I think a little bit of scrimmaging against the competition will probably be good as a, some sort of test to see how you are compared to the other teams.
All right. If I may be so bold as to suggest something, as a team-building exercise, may I offer this? Go ahead and roll the video, please.
Listen, baby, ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, baby.
How well do you know the other guys? Have you sung together yet?
No singing yet, just practicing, I guess, and I know them a little bit. Luckily, we had a mini camp here a couple of weeks ago where everybody was able to, get acquainted with one another, mostly just with your own position group. So, this training camp will be better for whole team inclusion. But yeah, everybody seems awesome. I don't have any negative things to say, obviously, and I'm looking forward to, getting after it with these guys.
Will this be the longest training camp of your life?
I wouldn't say the longest. I would say my senior year at USD, when they stopped having 2-a-days, it made every day very long with walkthroughs and meetings, and so that was probably the longest camp, even if it wasn't the longest amount of days.
Okay, so let's go ahead here. Football leagues have come and gone. We've seen them come and go. Why is this league going to survive where others have failed?
I think they're taking every step cautiously, and I think they're making the smartest move and best move for the entire league. And I think spanning this time between when the Super Bowl ends to when the draft begins, which is the season for the AAF, coupled with the fact that they're working in conjunction with the NFL rather than trying to compete against it, which has been the downfall of several of the other startups. I think that this really provides a great opportunity for us to continue sharpening our craft and giving ourselves opportunities to be put on NFL rosters here in the future. But also for the NFL, I think it's a better way for them to have this talent pool that isn't just guys right out of college. It has, veterans who are able to help everybody. And so I think it's kind of a win-win situation. And I think it's, while this is the first year, I think you should expect to see it for years to come.
The team got some preseason pub with your number one pick, Josh Johnson of obviously USD fame, who had flirted with the NFL for a few years and was going to be your starting quarterback. But then the Redskins picked him up. Is he still going to be your starting quarterback?
Well,
how does that work? Is he still property of the Redskins right now?
Well, with their season ending, it'll depend on his contract was only through the season, and so now it's going to be on them to either re-sign him or somebody else to kind of scalp him as a second backup.
But does that perhaps? You guys are all dreaming the dream, and the fact that Josh is playing in the NFL does that kind of make its feeling felt throughout the locker room? Hey, the dream could be recognized.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately that's the goal of this league is to kind of continue guys. It's a springboard back to the league, and with him being gone, I was actually really looking forward to being his teammate as a fellow Torero 10 years removed. But now, I know we're in great hands with our quarterbacks.
Hey, you've been part of the PPR family for quite some time. We dug this up. Go ahead, roll it. This is your mic'd up segment from 2011.
Yeah, either 2011 or 2012.
So 6 or 7 years ago. Take a listen, everybody.
Why is he so angry? Oh, I know, right? Alec is such a nerd. Hey, what the hell, bro? I was gonna pick that. Oh!
What's your favorite prep memory?
Favorite prep memory was winning the Division I championship my junior year. It was obviously the pinnacle for high school football, and now with all these bowl games, things have changed a little bit. But for us, that was the goal we've been working towards, and I watched one of my older brothers win a championship in 2007, and so that was kind of the dream I had had since I was 12 when that happened.
I can't let you go. As a Poway guy, we ran our top 10 stories of 2018, and Wayne Brandsetter's retirement, who, for those who don't know, he is one of probably the greatest high school wrestling coach of all time. He'd certainly be on Mount Rushmore, Poway Titan legend. How did you ever come across him? And looking at you, I think he'd want you to wrestle for him.
Well, all freshman guys at Poway High School had to do a 6-week wrestling PE in the fall of their freshman year, and so that's where he's able to kind of scout out talent, see who could be a good wrestler for him on this, obviously prestigious team. And so at the end of that, there was a tournament that if you qualified in your PE class, you got to do this tournament at lunch. And I was fortunate enough to win the tournament for my weight group, which is probably 100 pounds less than I am now. But yeah, it was a great experience, and he was really trying to get me to play to wrestle, but I was committed to football and lacrosse.
Instead, you played lacrosse, so you could actually be the first San Diego Fleet member to also play for the San Diego Seals. What made you a good lacrosse player? Where do the talents combine? As just a love of contact?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what drew me to lacrosse initially. My dad had been trying to get me to play it because he played a little bit in his childhood and when he was at the Naval Academy. And so I think I was a better lacrosse player because I was aggressive, and then I became a better football player because lacrosse obviously works your conditioning and your footwork and kind of maybe the not-so-physical element. So it's kind of a beautiful blend.
John, best of luck to you in San Antonio and with the San Diego Fleet. We will, of course, be following you. Coming up on tonight, we'll have the ASR, a bunch of stuff, 8 prep stops. And Bernie Wilson joins us at 6:45. We'll be talking about the passing of UT sports writing legend Jerry McGee. We'll be all that coming your way in just a bit. 5 o'clock news is over. The 6 o'clock news is about to begin.